one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
That's exactly how I feel. I feel like I just got spat on. I feel like they just pulled out the whole goddamn cup on me. Man, I'm stressed out. B&B, every day we live. Hey, every day Uso is stressing the
Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Let me tell you something. You don't need an invitation in to come kick it with me, all right? You don't need an invitation, all right? Just come on in. Come on in. I appreciate you for stopping by. I really do. I truly do. It's a blessing to have people want to support you. You know what I'm saying? I kick it with y'all, man. I appreciate that. I really do. If you're a usual, if you're a regular, if you're new, I hope I say something to make you want to vibe with me. Somebody left a comment on one of my shows that I posted during the season. And it was just a random comment on a random day. And he left a comment. He was like, I know this video is 2 months old, but I agree with everything you said in this video. And I didn't like the comment didn't catch me because it was a positive comment, even though positive comments I do tend to pay more attention to than negative ones. If I'm truly bored, I'll engage with a negative comment to entertain myself, but I'll usually always try to engage with a positive one because it truly takes nothing to be a kind person. But I notice nowadays we tend to pay more attention to the negativity. So I try to pay more attention to the positive, you know? I think it's crazy because now, just to go ahead and let you know, because I am about to be rambling. This episode, we just kicking it tonight, man. This is just, I'm just happy to be back recording. And I said I got a lot of things on my mind that we can talk about tonight, whether it be through sports, movies, but you don't need an invitation to kick it with me tonight. Because the boy just, I done watched, I was trying to say Get Out, Lord have mercy, Sinners. And I think Sinners is the most anticipated movie that I have been waiting for this year. I don't know, man. As somebody, so I'm a writer. I write. I'm not like famous or anything like that. I just write. I'm just a very creative art. I guess that's the Pisces. Because some women have been getting me more into astrology. Not really astrology, but whatever you call the horoscope type thing, the zodiac signs. And they so fascinated with me being a Pisces and all of my things that I'm just a creative person. And so I'm not going to lie, that has fascinated me reading those things lately, seeing how much they do describe me to a T, really. But nonetheless, Sinners, I think, is the most anticipated thing that I have been waiting for. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little, not annoyed. I'm a little bit, how do I say this? I don't even want to say burnt out. I just don't really get excited for movies that are not like original thoughts. Like now, in the same breath, some movies that are original thoughts are absolute garbage to me. Like, I'm not a fan of remaking the same movie over and over and over again. But I'm also not a fan of all these different movies basically being the same movie, because they basically had the same storyline, the same plot, the same character motivations. Like, everything is basically the same. So as somebody who do some writing in my free time, and I've been writing for a while trying to put together my own little story, but being somebody who is so intrigued by original ideas and I like listening to people who write and create, listening to the fantasy worlds that they create and whatnot. Shout out to J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter. I think that's done influence so many people. But I'm just so fascinated and intrigued by original thoughts and original stories being told. So that's why I think I was so fascinated. And plus, I rock with Ryan Coogler, bro. I like damn near everything he done put out. Plus, being as though I am a black man who loves black people, and I am head over heels about being a black man, I really rock with Ryan Coogler and the fact that he loved being a black man and he liked to put black people on the screen. And I understand for some ignorant white people, everything that I just said and the thought of too much black and this and it's always about black. I understand that you are ignorant and you don't like to see any color, any race other than white be able to tell their stories and have success and, you know, have these platforms where they can talk about the things they want to talk. I understand that bothers you. But to everybody else, I'm pretty sure they understand where I'm coming from. But I rock with Sinners. I really do. I think that's my favorite. I don't know if that's my favorite. Nah, it might be it's either one or two. I'm gonna see that movie, The Accountant 2, because I like The Accountant 1. So The Accountant 2, I'm gonna see that this year. I'm gonna see that soon, because it's already in the movie theater. I'm gonna see that soon, and I'm pretty sure that'll end up in my top 3 for things I done watched this year. I watched I watched a show this year called Long Bright River. That shit was hard. I ended up really liking that. I think that's probably my favorite thing I done watched this year. I think. Anyways, Sinners. What a movie. I'm not here to break down the movie or anything like that. I could spoil some shit in it though, because that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm not going to lie. It's very possible that I could end up spoiling something in the movie. So I'm going to be honest with you. If you haven't seen the movie and you want to see the movie, just skip past me talking about this. I don't know when, because I'm recording it right now, so I couldn't tell you when where to fast forward to. I might not even spoil nothing, so, maybe take your chances. But don't be mad if I do. That's all I'm saying. The scene in the movie where everybody talking about right now, Cornbread, where you're like, I'm gonna tell you something. When black people, that's why Ryan Coogler gonna be good, man. As long as he don't do no nut shit out here. Black people really support black people who love black people, man. I'm telling you, because black people supporting Ryan Coogler every time he drop anything. Every time he drops something, it's a family affair for black people, bro. To me, Ryan Coogler and Tyler Perry, regardless of how ignorant some people want to be about Tyler Perry, I really feel like they the only two, unless I'm forgetting somebody. But right now, as far as like through my experiences, the two black filmmakers who done brought so many, and maybe John Singleton, I think is his name, also the one who died, who made Boys in the Hood, Friday. I think out of everybody though, Tyler Perry and Ryan Coogler, they really bring black people together with the movies and the things that they make. I really rock with them. I really do. I really do. Anyways, the scene in Sinners where Cornbread had already been bit. Yo, the woman who played, now that wouldn't be polite now, would it, Miss Annie? The one who played Miss Annie though, not Stack. Shit, man, is it Stack or Smoke? The one, his former wife, I think it's Smoke. Yo, I really just got confused that quick, yo. It's not even possible. It's not even This is why I hate movies with twins with so similar names, bro. Like, why couldn't one of their names start with something else? Like, because when I get done watching the movie, I'm going to forget which twin is which, because both of them is obviously Michael B. But Jesus Christ. Either way, this wasn't even about him. This was about Miss Annie. When she was like, why's your big ass can't just walk in here? You big enough to walk past all of us. And that wouldn't be polite now, would it, Miss Annie? That shit had me in tears, boy. When I started talking shit in my head, yo. I was like, that's a fact, yo. Your big fat ass can just walk in here. You been walking in, and that's when I'm gonna forget which one it was, either Smoke or Stack. But when he was like, you hit, when she was like, just go ahead and admit it that you dead. She is British, bro, and she can deliver like that. I'm telling you, these people from the UK, man, unbelievable talents. But when he was like, "You hearing this?" He was like, "Yeah." Ain't making no sense. Your fat ass been walking in and out of this bitch all day. Now your fat ass need permission? I saw somebody leave a comment. This is exactly why they don't create black horror movies. Because niggas figure this shit out too quick. They too smart for the fucking plot. Like the movie is over in 30 minutes. That shit was hilarious. But I love how Ryan Coogler basically did put that in there. Even though, I mean, I don't know too many movies where vampires is involved. Where it take people too long to figure out vampires are involved. Especially when you got like I understand this probably wasn't, I mean, if you got vampires, it's clearly like a supernatural type of movie, but it still had those type of old, like New Orleans voodoo, you know, witchcraft type elements to it. Like Miss Annie was a shaman or whatever you call it, basically. Like she warded off evil spirits and things of that nature. Like I just think that the whole movie, the production, I'm really one of the, okay, so another thing that I really like I really love storytelling. I talk about this all the time when I talk about wrestling. I'm a big storytelling fan, and I am very hooked on stories that can tell a great story and be in limited locations. So it's very nice to have movies or shows where they have so many different locations, right? Because the locations and the scenery and the backgrounds and whatnot, they help make the movie or the show and whatnot, the scenes. But when you can just have everything in one, like the scene where they was in there singing and dancing, and then the ancestors and they came and started dancing with them, and they was burning down the barn. It wasn't really burning down, but it was like a metaphoric, I think is what I'm looking for. Like looking at how they was burning it down from the singing and the dancing, and just it was black excellence. That's what I thought about when I was looking at it. But when you look at how they were just baked, because this movie really was just in one location. Like it showed like maybe 2 or 3 locations. They put cornbread up in the cotton field. You had the church. You had obviously the lake or the river, whatever you want to call it, that was beside the juke joint. I'm trying to think of what else. Was it another location that I'm forgetting? I don't think it is. Oh, and you had the racist couple's house in the beginning, who Remick ended up turning into vampires. But aside from that, I don't think that it was another location in this movie. And when you can dumb down the location, now I'm not saying every great story is told in 2-3 locations. That's not what I'm saying. But when you do have these movies that take place in really just 1 or 2 spots or places throughout the movie, and you can still tell an engaging story, and the background and the things that still play a huge part, I just think that's so dope. I think Sinners was a great movie. I cannot think of a movie that Ryan Coogler has put out that I did not enjoy. I still to this day, I think my favorite Ryan Coogler movie is Black Panther, and that is very shocking to me because I do not think that a superhero movie, like I love superhero movies, but I don't think, I'm trying to think, because I take Transformers, that don't count because Transformers is number 1 for me. No superhero movies are topping Transformers for me. Not even Batman: The Dark Knight is up there. Okay, so let me basically break it down. The Dark Knight used to be my favorite superhero movie all time. I used to watch that shit every night for like 3 years in a row when I got the DVD. Somebody had bought I don't remember who bought the DVD for me for a present, but somebody bought that movie for me on DVD for a present, and I had a DVD player. My mom got me a DVD player. So I used to watch Batman: The Dark Knight like every single night throughout high school and college. Like I was hooked on that movie. That was my favorite movie for the longest. But Transformers, The only reason I had at that time didn't watch it as much is because I didn't have the DVDs and whatnot. But as soon as I was able to get like computers and whatnot and stuff became digital and everything, and you could watch it in other ways, bro. I don't think it's a superhero movie I done watched more than Transformers, than all the different Transformers movies. Like, I'm pretty sure Transformers is by far. Now, I used to, bro, when Batman v Superman came out, I watched that shit so many times. And then the extended, when I thought I was done finally watching it, the extended version came out. And then I started watching that shit as if I had never seen the movie at all again. That's how much I like Batman v Superman. That's why I was so annoyed with everybody who was like, oh, this is such a bad movie, this is such a bad movie. Yo, dick riding, I'm going to tell you something. Dick riding is a crazy disease nowadays, because just because some white YouTubers who like Marvel more than DC hopped on the internet and said, oh, DC is not better than Marvel, niggas started rocking with it. And then when niggas who actually liked the Zack Snyder vision supported Zack Snyder, and they came back and was like, no, this is not trash. It may not be what you like in Marvel, the funny, everything feel good, everybody laughing in the middle of war. No, it's not that. It's darker than what Marvel is, and that's why we like it. But you got these Marvel niggas talking about some, oh no, it's just not good, and so everybody else want to agree with it. Niggas used to get on my nerves. Bro, I used to watch the fuck out of Batman v Superman, bro. When that nigga Lex said, what was that line? Bro, he dropped a bar in that movie where he was like, if man is all powerful, he cannot be all good. And if he is all good, he cannot be all powerful. I love that line. Because he was basically, the nigga was convinced that Superman, well, Lex done hated Superman throughout his entire journey. But I guess the lesson or his thing with Superman was Superman cannot be this. I guess it was really like Batman's problem. Like, they both were basically looking at Superman as this god-like creature who could destroy the planet at any second, and they wanted to basically be the ones who took him out. Now, it was deeper than that. It was more things throughout the movie, but I'm gonna be honest also, and this is gonna sound crazy. At this point in my life, if you asked me which movie, like what Batman movie I would sit down and watch first, between every Batman movie that's been released, the first Batman movie, I would not choose. My first pick would not be Batman Dark Knight anymore. That used to be the very first movie that it was nothing else that I would take over that. Heath Ledger and the Joker, that performance is still to this day, I think, my favorite Joker performance. Now, granted, aside from Mark Hamill's cartoon Joker, there is really not another good Joker performance out there that's like on that level anyway. So it's really not even fair anymore at this point to compare, because it's nobody who even done put on a performance to that level. And people who say Joaquin Phoenix is Joker, nah. You got your opinions, I got mine. That is not to me a good Joker. But it was a point in time where The Dark Knight would have been my first pick. But it's not my first pick anymore. It's to me, Ben Affleck was just a better Batman. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just wild, but I done watched all of these Batman movies multiple times over. I just like the Ben Affleck Batman more than Christian Bale's Batman. Like, I truly believe if Ben Affleck was Batman in those movies, it would have made those movies even better. And I think that it's come to a point where, to me, it's an acting thing. And I don't think Christian Bale is a bad actor. But I truly think that I believe, that was a crazy sentence. I think that I just believe Ben Affleck is the better actor, bro. Like, and the fact that he is just the actor that resonates with me more when I watch him. His Batman was the better Batman. So if I had to pick a Batman movie to watch off the rip, it would definitely, my first movie that I'm watching, if you say pick a Batman movie to watch right now, it's gonna be Batman v Superman, bro. I love that movie. Absolutely love that movie. Like, Batman v Superman, that is the first, maybe, and you know what I think it is for me also? I allow the child in me to always be, to appreciate these moments. So when I was a child, I don't know if I could have ever imagined watching a live action Batman v Superman on the same team, on the same screen, in the same movie. Like, I watched Batman and Superman on the Justice League growing up my entire life on Justice League Unlimited. And then as I'm getting older and all of these other action figures and whatnot is getting their own movies. And I know Batman has always had movies and Superman that had movies. I had never seen them on the same screen, on the same movie. So when I got to see them in the same movie for, I think, the first time in my lifetime, I really appreciated that. The kid in me appreciated that. It wasn't a movie, and I'm not saying you can't critique things, but to me, the movie, people look for perfection in things that are meant to be feel good. Like, everything that make you feel good ain't perfect, but if it make you feel good, then it's perfect. And I don't think people understand that sometimes. Like, oh, look at this CGI, and oh my God, look at this outfit. Like, to me, bro, when I was a kid, I wasn't thinking about how the CGI and all of this other nonsense would be when I got to see Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman on the same fucking screen in live action. When I was watching Transformers, I couldn't imagine seeing live action Optimus fucking Prime. That's why I appreciate those movies so much, bro. I'm not thinking about, mind you, every time somebody argues CGI and shit like that with Transformers, bro, niggas can go suck one, because Transformers, bro, if that's bad CGI, then I don't know what good CGI is. Because every time I have ever, you gotta understand, I done seen every single Transformers movie except for the movie Bumblebee, and I've seen that one, but I haven't seen it in the movie. I didn't go see that one in the movie theater. I was not going to the movie theater to see that. Now, if my little nephew wanted to see it and I was living in the same city as him at that time, I probably would have seen that one in the movie theater, because I ended up seeing it because of him, but we saw it like at the crib one night. But all of the other Transformers movies, The Last Night, Age of Extinction, the first one, like every single Transformers movie, again, aside from Bumblebee, I went to the movie theaters and saw. And I've seen multiple times at the crib. Like, every time I've seen those movies, the transformations look fire. Everything in those. I've never seen one of those movies and thought to myself, man, this shit looks bad. Never thought that. Michael Bay is him. Michael Bay is him. We started off talking about Sinners. We ended up making our way to Batman and Superman. Then we ended up finding our way to Transformers. I told you, man, we kicking it tonight. We kicking it. But we do have to talk about some sports. I feel as though we do need to talk about some sports. And seeing as how I am. And seeing as how the NFL draft did just happen, I feel like we should talk about some things, or the thing that happened in the NFL draft. But before we get to that, a different topic has been sweeping the nation. 100 stupid niggas against one gorilla. Gorilla. Don't hurt him, buddy. What you got him out here for? Bruh, y'all have to. I think I'm probably going to put that. I hope I don't get flagged or nothing like that, but I think I'm going to put this TikTok. It's this TikTok that I watch damn near every day, where this gorilla is grabbing up this dude. That shit is hilarious. But I want to get in on this. First off, I just want to say how hilarious human beings are. Human beings are hilarious, bro. Absolutely hilarious. And I'm saying that in a positive way. Like, I know I say that sometimes, like, niggas is hilarious. But I mean that in a good way right now. Like, human beings are hilarious. That's why I have faith in humanity. I know I say I be losing it, but human beings, when they actually are trying to just be funny, motherfuckers like chill and just, joke around, Human beings are hilarious, bro. Some of the comments I've seen in the think pieces, and I know usually when I say think piece, it's a negative, but this time it's not. Seeing all of these hilarious think pieces about the 100 people against the one gorilla. Quality entertainment. Now let Saint offer his perspective. We're doomed. I appreciate the people out there who have so much faith and trust in humans. I absolutely adore it. However, they basically handicapping us from everything I understand in this conversation. First off, it's 100 humans with no weapons. Well, that's already we at an advantage. Now, some people would say, well, it's not fair if we had weapons. Well, I don't really think it's fair that we coming in without weapons, because the gorilla is a weapon. Nonetheless, fine. Now, I don't think it's fair that it's just no weapons, period. Because let me just make this very clear. 100 niggas ain't beating a gorilla. It's just, unless it's like a baby gorilla or something. But a full-grown silverback gorilla, we're doomed. For one, have you seen them niggas' teeth? Them fangs at this point, bro. They biting right through us. Like, this is not a movie. And I think that's what some of us continuously forget. Because we love movies. We love entertainment. We love fantasy booking and things of that nature. We love seeing these things. But listen, when people get bit in these movies and they shake this type of shit off, yeah, that's not reality. See, reality is more like those horror movies where these creatures bite you, and they usually bite your arm off or bite right through your limb and break your arm or something. See, that's what's going to happen with the gorilla. You see, you might get a swing off, and people saying like it's one person at a time. Yeah, that's foolish. I don't understand why we are handicapping ourselves so we can't use bats or anything like that. But now we also have to go one at a time, like we playing Final Fantasy or Pokemon or something. We taking turns getting our asses beat. This is insane to me. We watching bodies get stacked in the corner one at a time. What are we doing here? Now, imagine the gorilla grabs you and it decides, let me bite down on this nigga. For one, if it bite down on your head, if it bite down on your head, that's a fatal blow right there. So, boom, he's done. But let's say he bites your arm. His bite force, he probably tearing right through that hoe. If he don't tear that arm off through that with that bite, he probably crushing your arm. You're not going to want to fight anymore after that. So that's one more nigga down. Now imagine the many different niggas who are about to break, not even lose their life. Just imagine all the niggas that are about to get hurt. Like fatally, not fatally, just ignore the fatally hurt. Imagine the niggas who are about to just be severely hurt. Meaning broken bones and whatnot. You're not going to want to keep fighting, even if you think you want to. Imagine this motherfucker step on your leg or something, tear your ACL, MCL. You're not going to continue to be in a position to fight. See, I hate that I had to bring this type of reality into it, but that is the reality, and it's not my fault. They've handicapped us in this situation. We've basically come into this situation being served up to this gorilla because, for one, the nigga is way bigger than us. That's for one. They're way bigger than us. Once again, the gorilla itself is a weapon to us because we're coming in with nothing. Nothing but hopes and prayers and dreams. This ain't a movie. If we are put in this position for real, a lot of niggas ain't just losing their lives. Like, that's the thing that people keep saying, like, oh, people getting killed. Bro, imagine the gorilla not killing niggas. He just tearing ACLs, ripping ACLs out, cracking ribs, shattering vertebrae, crushing spines. Bro. And then they using their feet like hands. So that nigga can box 4 niggas at one time, technically. And then I was thinking to myself, bro, the hardest punchers like Francis Ngannou and whatnot, punching regular humans, yeah. That's cute. What is that shit doing to a gorilla? That nigga ain't cold clocking. He's not KOing a gorilla. And I don't even think 100 niggas that could hit as hard as Francis Ngannou would be able to get off that many punches that would still put that nigga down. Because that's still a gorilla at the end of the day. His body is way different than our body, bro. His body built like a tank. A lot of niggas is probably breaking their fist and wrist trying to punch this nigga as hard as possible. Listen, I would love to imagine it's a nigga out there who could punch this nigga in the chest so hard that it actually do something to him. But my mind cannot stop going away from the fact that if somebody punches this nigga in the chest hard enough to make him pay them any attention, you better pray that he don't think you just playing with him. Because if he actually analyzed the situation and say to himself, oh, this nigga was trying to hurt me, let me respond, then yeah, it's a KO for you. Listen, I'm a human being. I wanna root for the humans. I'm gonna be rooting for the humans. You know, a true underdog story. We just ain't coming out on top. And that sucks. That hurts me. But I'm not a dumbass. Okay? I done analyzed this situation thoroughly over the last couple days. And through my research, Google searches, I come to the conclusion you actually don't need to do much research. You just need a bit of common sense to understand that 100 niggas ain't beating a gorilla unless you put 100 of them niggas in mech suits or give them superpowers or something. It ain't fair. I get it. But this whole situation ain't fair. Because 100 regular niggas, I don't care if it's 100 bodybuilders, they ain't doing shit to a gorilla. If you pick up a gorilla and body slam, for one, I want to see the human being that's strong enough to pick a gorilla up and forcibly slam him down to where he could feel it. And it would hurt him. I seen somebody say one of them we gonna send in is John Jones. John Jones against a regular human being, I'm taking him every time. Against a gorilla, I'm not taking him once. What's wrong with y'all? I'm not even saying give us guns. Okay? I'm saying let's even this thing up a little bit. I'm not even saying like give us knives and something like that could cut through the gorilla. But like give us a bat. I feel like giving 100 niggas and 50 of them get bats is very fair. And they can switch off the bats whenever they want to. It's 50 bats. No bats will be added on. So if 2 niggas with bats get clocked and KO'd, well, 2 other niggas without bats can pick them bats up and use them. I feel as though 50 bats for 50 of those 100 niggas, and we got a chance. Now, you give all 100 niggas 50 bats, metal bats, I feel like we might fuck that gorilla up. I still would pick the gorilla ultimately, but I think the gorilla would be a look like half HP when it's all said and done. Now, you get 100 strong niggas, 100 powerful niggas. It could even be 100 powerful, not 100 powerful men. And you could throw in, and you know, like 20 bodybuilding, like you gotta be very strong for this next scenario. Okay, so I just need 100 of the strongest human beings. Put it like that. I need 100 of the strongest human beings and give them sledgehammers. 100 of the strongest human beings and 68, 70. 100 of the strongest human beings and 100 motherfucking sledgehammers. We KOing that motherfucking gorilla. Them niggas is coming home with gorilla for dinner. I'm just telling you right now. Now, would that be fair? Probably not. So, I say 100 of the strongest niggas and 68 sledgehammers. Yeah. Because you got to also think, slinging a sledgehammer around, even for the 100 strongest niggas, that's still going to be a tiring process. And plus, it slow down your movement speed because you have extra added weight. So, you know, and the gorilla still is like, and God forbid the gorilla grab one of these goddamn sledgehammers. Good Lord. The force he's slinging that hoe with is about 10 motherfucking Barry Bonds swing forces, bro. That would be insane. He decapitating niggas like it's a Mortal Kombat game. That would get ugly quick. So you know what, man? Fuck it, bro. Just give 100 niggas a shotgun, bro, and call it a day, bro. I'm not walking away with it as L. I'm just telling you that right now. I tried to be fair. Okay? I tried to analyze the situation from a fair standpoint, but at the end of the day, it's not. It's not fair. And I'm so in love with the human race. I'm willing to curve the rules and say, one nigga get a shotgun. Just one nigga get a shotgun out of the 100 niggas. $20 bullets. 24 bullets. R.I.P. Kobe. One shotgun, 100 niggas, 24 bullets. We taking this nigga down. And every nigga who holding a shotgun get -5 speed. Also, any nigga hold a shotgun, and friendly fire is old. This is not one of them situations where you can't. This is not like the most like deadly accurate shooters. This not that. If we go give niggas a shotgun, it's just random niggas. This is just the first random 100 niggas that show up. We not teaching you how to load the shotgun. We not teaching you how to shoot the shotgun, how to reload it, none of that. It's survival, nigga. Figure it out. That's the only advantage I got for that gorilla. It's the only one. Aside from that, I'm rocking with 100 niggas. That seemed fair to me, to be honest. Now, let's get into this NFL draft real quick, because I say this every year, you know, I don't really care about the NFL draft. I follow the Baltimore Ravens. We will never draft high enough in the draft to land one of the players that would make me care about the draft. As long as Lamar Jackson is living and breathing and healthy, we will not be drafting early or drafting high unless we make some crazy trade or something. Also, before I actually get into what I wanted to talk about with Sheduer, because that's clearly what I'm about to talk about, they gotta find a way to shorten this fucking draft. The draft is not entertaining enough to be 4 or 5 hours long, or however the fuck. Like, it started at 8 o'clock and I think it ended at like 12. So what, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 4 hours, 4 or 5 hour show is ridiculous to me. Like, there's no way the NFL draft should be that long. They need to find a way to cut that hoe into 2.5 hours or maybe 2 hours. Like, I understand if you had entertainment throughout the show, but just seeing niggas walk up to a stage and get their jersey and be hyped about it, like, I'm not taking nothing away from the experience for these draftees. This means the world to them, and I am ecstatic seeing these dudes live out their dreams and be drafted and have an opportunity to change their lives and their families' lives. I love that. But as an entertainment perspective, this is not entertaining. Matter of fact, once a dude get drafted, you gotta wait like 10, 15 fucking minutes for the next dude to get drafted, even if the team already have their draft pick in. Like, to me, it is just so elongated. Bro, I do not understand how it takes so long to get through this draft, especially through every year. And I don't think I ever realized how long this draft process was until this year, really. Like, and then I saw Roger Goodell saying on the Pat McAfee show, like, they got to figure a way to shorten this draft now, because for one, the NFL seemed to be satisfied with the way the draft is. meaning they don't seem to want to add anything else to the draft, like entertainment throughout the night, like musical performances or like trivia throughout the night, or like different games that go on throughout the draft. They just seem to be satisfied with having dudes get called up there and picked, having these special like people present the drafts picks or whatnot, and having Mel and Greeny and Brett Lewis Riddick and all those different dudes talk about it. I think, I'm not trying to say that way is bad, because that's the way that I have for a long time, and that way worked for a long time. But the draft is just extremely too long to sit around listening to some niggas talk about some college players. Most people not even gonna know over the average fan don't even know 10 of these players that are being drafted. It is well over 200 plus players being drafted in the draft every year. 100, more than 100 of these dudes more than likely won't make a team or a roster. They'll be on a practice squad or something. So, to me, they got to figure out a way to cut this hole down tremendously. Even telling the stories of these different draft prospects and seeing, different aspects of their life, like them celebrating, just not enough. It's just not, to me, the draft is just nothing. It's not entertaining enough to be 4 or 5 fucking hours long with all the commercial breaks, and as long as it take in between draft picks, and teams will have their pick in already, and it'll still take the entire clock. It feel like after it say pick in, we should be going to the board or going to the podium and announcing the pick. Pick shouldn't be in, and now we still waiting 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes for them to actually announce the pick. That's ridiculous to me. Like, the NFL draft is just, I don't find, and maybe I feel this way because my detachment from college football over the last couple years, but I just don't find the NFL draft entertaining whatsoever. I just do not believe that it should be this long of a. I dead ass thought to myself this year, boy, the NFL draft could just be a podcast or something at this point. Like, and then the fact that there's so many different ways to watch the NFL draft now to try to make it more entertaining. Like, I didn't watch the Pat McAfee draft special this year or the nightcap draft special, but I imagine more people is tuning in to shows like that now than the actual NFL draft, because a lot of people would rather watch things like that and be entertained than they rather hear the names be called but be entertained by those people than just sit there and watch actual people just walk to the podium and show the jerseys and think, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the NFL got to figure out a way to spice the draft up a little bit or a lot, because that shit is hella boring. Now, talking about the Sheduer Sanders slide. Listen, everybody's going to have their opinions. I just think it's very funny that a quarterback who was the second ranked quarterback all throughout college this year ended up being drafted, I think it was in the 4th or the 5th round, to the Cleveland Browns. Very intriguing that the Cleveland Browns could have drafted Sheduer and Travis Hunter, but chose to trade all that they traded. And maybe that was just them trying to recoup draft picks. I don't know, but I don't know. Cleveland's going to Cleveland. I'm going to realize that forever. But Sheduer sliding the way he did, and hearing all the draft people talk about him the way they did, and the anonymous GMs talking about him the way they did. Listen, I done said it multiple times, man. They do not like a confident black man is a scary thing to a lot of average white people, or to white people who fear losing power or control. I don't even think it's power and control is about the same thing to a lot of races. To me, a white man that is fearful of losing power, or his power and his control, means nothing to a Sheduer. So he don't like that. He can tell Cam Ward ain't rich yet. So he can tell, well, Cam Ward is rich because he had NIL, but For a lot of these white dudes, they like that they can control these black dudes, these young black dudes. They can talk to them a certain type of way, and they have to respond a certain type of way because they have to look at you as the dude who finna get them paid. But Sheduer already paid. You're not his lifeline. His daddy put in the work so his family could live the way they live and not have to answer the niggas a certain type of way. Where they can walk around with confidence, where they can walk around with their head up, where they can walk around and not have to say to themselves, well, I have to actually act and capitulate a certain type of way to these type of people because I need their money or I need their approval. No. Dion put his children in a situation where they can be themselves. Just be a good human being and be yourself. You ain't got to worry about nothing else. Because my hard work made sure that all you have to worry about is working hard and being a good human being. So I'll never agree with these dumbass reports that come out talking about he arrogant or he egotistical. Like, man, miss me with that. I'm not trying to hear none of that. And I think it's very funny that I've seen so many white people get on Twitter and Colin Cowherd talking about, oh, he deserved it. It was his fault. It's so funny listening to all these white people say that. But where was it? I'm seeing white people tweet shit like, do we feel bad for him because I think this is his, he deserved. What did my question is, what did Sheduer Sanders do that you would say? Because none of you niggas, none of you white people were in these meetings, so you're just making up shit when you say, oh, the meetings went bad and yada yada yada. That's one. Two, what did he do? Because he's broken no laws, he's no criminal, he's done none of that. So what did he do to make you say, oh, he deserved to fall in the draft? I'm just trying to figure it out because I just feel like white people get away with that racist shit way too much, talking about he deserved this. Because Baker Mayfield actually got in trouble with the law in college, and he was he was very boisterous and loud and arrogant and egotist. We heard the things he said. You didn't have a problem with that. You didn't have a problem with that. Josh Rosen, Mitchell Trubisky was drafted high. And that's another thing that, because Mitchell Trubisky is actually me jumping the gun a little bit. See, Mitchell Trubisky wasn't a loud mouth coming in, and I don't have a problem with quarterbacks being loud, boisterous, and saying and being. Why would I want to draft a quarterback that's not confident, that don't think he the best thing since Jesus Christ? Why would I want a quarterback who come in and think that, well, man, I'm not that good, but I can improve? And no, I want a quarterback to come in and say, nah, I'm that boy. I can improve, and I got a lot of things to get better at, but I'm that boy. We gonna win because I'm here. All the quarterback shuffling we done in the past, nah, we not doing that no more. I'm here now. I done steadied this ship. I'm going to steady this ship. That's exactly the type of quarterback I want. It's very funny to me that some white people out there, the white people you love can be confident, but as soon as that black person is confident, oh, no. They're egotistical. They're not humble. That white people love using that word, humble. And then the thing that I think about when I think about the draft process in Sheduer is, I done said it before, the way black people or these black quarterbacks, the hoops that they have to jump through and the things that they have to do in college to not have the smut on their name coming out of college is insane. Because I done said it before, what these black quarterbacks do in college does not matter, because Lamar Jackson was a Heisman finalist and won a Heisman. So he won the Heisman one year and then was a finalist the next year. You can say what you want to about his development of not being developed or at a certain level of development before getting into the league, but Lamar Jackson, people keep talking about, oh, he was just running. He wasn't just a runner at Louisville. He passed the ball. Lamar Jackson didn't play at a college that had top recruits and top receivers. You couldn't even name anybody on that team, not name Lamar Jackson. Now, some people, if you're really a fan of football, then you know Jair Alexander was on that team. But other than that, you couldn't name a soul on that team. For Alabama, the Georgias, the LSUs, you can name multiple players. They didn't care what Lamar did coming out of college. He was about to fall out of the first round until the Ravens came back up and get him. Mind you, it was multiple teams in that draft who needed Lamar Jackson. They needed a quarterback. But nothing he did in college mattered that year. The GMs and analysts looked at Lamar Jackson and said, we didn't care what he did in college. He can't be a good NFL quarterback. So team after team passed on him. To me, when I made the decision in my head that college football no longer mattered, was the year that Deshaun Watson was drafted. And I say this all the time. When Mitchell Trubisky was drafted before Deshaun Watson. Now, at the time, I was very much into college football. I watched college football all the time at this point in time. I had never even heard of Mitchell Trubisky. I live in Chapel Hill. Had never heard of Mitchell Trubisky. Deshaun Watson had just taken Clemson to back-to-back national championships against Bama. This was prime Bama. Now, it's easy to look back and say, Jalen Hurts wasn't that great and yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, Deshaun Watson took that Clemson team. He put Clemson on the map, in my opinion. It was those Deshaun Watson Clemson teams that made Clemson pop off for those next couple years. Everything that Deshaun Watson played his ass off in them two natties. And somehow, some way, the Chicago Bears drafted Mitchell fucking Trubisky. Mitchell fucking Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. I don't care how you feel about Deshaun Watson, a human being, now. I am talking about Deshaun Watson, the prospect that was coming out of Clemson, the same year that Mitchell Trubisky was coming out of North Carolina. I believe Mitchell Trubisky, they said, had played 8 total games in college at that point in time. And the Bears drafted the underwhelming white guy over the black quarterback who had just took a team to 2 national championship games. That's insane to me. That's insane to me. That's when I knew that if you are a black quarterback, the only chance you have of being fairly judged coming into any of these draft situations is if there was absolutely no competition at quarterback in a draft. And even still, Jackson Dart just got drafted before Sheduer. You ain't never heard of Jackson Dart throughout the college season this year. But the Giants traded up to get that nigga. The same team that traded to get Daniel Jones. You had never heard of Daniel Jones in college that year. One of the things that also annoyed me, because I'm glad I'm thinking about this before I forget about it. The Pittsburghs, because I don't want to just go at, I don't want to generalize this thing. I got certain teams in my head that I'm going at. Because I don't want to make New York the whole butt of the joke. Because New York's just a bad franchise to me. They deserve everything that happened to them. Just like last year watching Saquon immediately leave and go win a Super Bowl. That they deserve that. They truly deserve that. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, to me, I see no difference than them and the Giants. 2 former prestigious great franchises that are just ass now. Just the butt of every joke now. The Steelers might not be racking up the L's and as bad a win-loss record as the Giants, but make no mistake about it. The Giants are in a better position going forward right now than the Steelers. Yet, the Steelers treated this draft as if they were in perfect position going forward. You're sitting around waiting for a 40-plus-year-old quarterback who hasn't put together a great season in the last 3 years. You could have drafted Sheduer Sanders multiple. This is what people not understanding. All the haters out there who hate Sheduer for no fucking reason, who just created this weird-ass hate for him. I don't care if you think Sheduer is good or bad. I really don't. I don't. The reason I don't care if you think he is good or bad is because the same niggas who think he good or bad thought Lamar Jackson was bad. Didn't have a thought about Josh Allen. Thought Baker Mayfield. Apologies. Thought Baker Midfield was about to be some great quarterback. Johnny Manziel, sorry ass, was drafted. Niggas thought he was gonna be decent. He was on cocaine. Teams knew that. But Sheduer Sanders somehow needs to be humbled. Like, there is so many quarterback prospects that niggas have been so wrong about. You want to know why they still got drafted? Because teams needed a quarterback. So I'm not trying to hear none of that shit about, oh, Sheduer wasn't good enough or Sheduer can't throw like that. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Sheduer is a far better prospect than a lot of the quarterbacks that have been drafted higher than him in the past. And I don't want to hear that argument, well, teams didn't need quarterback. He kept falling into positions where he was now sliding because different teams didn't need quarterbacks. But teams that needed quarterbacks were just straight up passing on him. And the fact that the Steelers continued to pass on him, for whatever reason that the Steelers chose to pass on him, to me, just continues to show you why the Steelers are who they are. The Steelers and the Saints, really. They are not good football teams. They aren't. They're relying on great players hanging around that are able to put in that coach in Pittsburgh that can put together a couple wins, but they'll never be good enough to truly beat the Lamars, the Burrows, the Allens, the Pat Mahomes, the Strouds. And they know that. But they still passed on a potential franchise quarterback to draft a defensive tackle. So a defensive tackle is more important than a fucking quarterback. This is the team that's got Mason Rudolph as the quarterback one right now. As a fan, it's no shot your hatred for one, again, I don't even understand anybody with hatred for Sheduer, but it's no way you should have any type of hatred that outweighs this type of stupid decision making by a franchise. And I say this all the time. The fact that fans allow their franchises to get away with being stupid like this because they rather hate players for weird ass reasons is insane to me. I understand any Steeler that would not want to be a part of this team right now because, yo, y'all got us sitting around waiting for this old ass nigga Aaron Rodgers, and we could have drafted Sheduer Sanders and developed him and whatnot, but yet, no. When we got TJ Watt on the team. Oh, so developing Sheduer is that time frame is just not gonna work for TJ Watt. But getting a 40-plus-year-old quarterback who done talked about retirement the last 3 years, who haven't been really productive to the point that helps a team in the last 3 years, we willing to sit around and wait on him and put TJ Watt's career in that nigga hands. Do you not see how insanely fucking stupid and dysfunctional of this? I mean, come on. No Steeler fan should be okay with this. No Steeler fan should be okay with this. I mean, to me, this is crazy. This is you in a division with Lamar Jackson and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. You play in the same conference as Lamar, Burrow, Allen, Mahomes. Not to mention, you got the others there, like a Stroud, a Herbert, a Wilson. Well, no, Wilson's gone now. A Bo Nix. Like, you don't have this ability to just be passing on quarterbacks because he might not look like the prospect that you feel like you looking for. And I'm not talking about look as in physical. I'm talking about attributes and things of that nature. But you want to know what's so funny to me? Sheduer, you truly did dodge a bullet anyways. Because the Steelers haven't shown that they can develop a quarterback anyways. Might not under Mike Tomlin. Big Ben was already developed once Mike Tomlin got there. They held on to him too long because they knew they couldn't develop a quarterback. I keep hearing people say, well, Kenny Pickett experience scared them away from Sheduer. You know how fucking stupid that is? You know how bad a franchise you have to be to say some stupid shit like that? If a team is trying to win, which it should show you that the Steelers are no longer the franchise that they used to be. So you should stop treating them like they are. Like every time people keep talking about, the Steelers are prestigious, they want to do great. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. And they just told you that they're seeing ghosts. They literally just told you we're seeing ghosts. Niggas went at Sam Darnold for saying that shit. The Steelers, literally, the media just came out and said the other day that the Steelers experience from Kenny Pickett is scary. They told you that they're seeing ghosts. Because it's no franchise that's a great franchise that's trying to win that would have made a mistake with a quarterback in the past say to ourselves, we need one now, but we scared to draft one because we made a mistake before. Do you know how insanely fucking stupid that is? Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. The Titans just drafted Will Levis a couple years ago. The Cardinals drafted a quarterback one year and immediately drafted Kyler Murray the next year. But the Steelers are scared of drafting Sheduer because the Kenny Pickett experience years ago. Never mind that Kenny Pickett was not a first, second, or third pick in the draft. Okay? Like, the Steelers for some reason is acting like they drafted Kenny Pickett in the lottery portion of the draft, like this the NBA lottery or some shit. Like he was a top 5 pick. Kenny Pickett was like the 16th or deeper in the draft pick, and he really probably shouldn't even been the 16th pick. Nobody thought at the time when you niggas drafted Kenny Pickett that that nigga was the savior of your franchise. Nobody thought that. What's even more hilarious to me is that not only did nobody think that, but the only reason niggas thought that he would be stable for you is because this is a team that doesn't finish below 500. That's the thing that people keep saying about the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. But nobody thought you were going to... Anybody who thought Kenny Pickett would develop into some superstar quarterback, what quarterback had they developed since Big Ben? Kenny Pickett or any quarterback after Kenny Pickett? Russell Wilson truly has probably been your best quarterback option since Kenny Pickett or since Big Ben, and you let that nigga walk. I think it was smart that you let Justin Fields walk. For some reason, I think it was smart. I'm not going to address the niggas who think it was stupid. Regardless of how I feel about the situation, though, you did not have a quarterback, and you let one of the ones in the building walk. That's what I was trying to say. But I still agree with you letting him walk. Even though you didn't let him walk because you didn't think he wasn't good enough. Because the Steelers did think he was good enough. They offered him a contract from what I read. Insanity. The Steelers are a bad franchise. I said this on a couple shows like a month or two ago. But this has become a bad franchise. And hopping over to the New Orleans Saints, who I've been saying is a bad franchise for the last couple years also. They traded for Derek Carr. They held on to Drew Brees. That's a funny thing. The Steelers held on to Roethlisberger too long. The Saints held on to Drew Brees for too long. Drew Brees couldn't even complete 10-yard passes no more, and they still had that nigga out there. They had Taysom Hill running at quarterback at times. Sean Payton did not give a... What the Saints have allowed the GM, owner, coaches, and whatnot do to this franchise is amazing to me. Amazing. I truly believe that the Saints need to be sold to a whole new owner that can reset this franchise, clean it up, get rid of some of these terrible contracts, change the philosophy. The Saints... It's so crazy because throughout my entire life, the Saints have been one of the top teams in the league or one of the most well-known franchises in football. And when you really think about it, almost every team is well-known a little bit because football is such a big thing in America. But like some places, Carolina might not be as big, but since I live in North Carolina, the Panthers are huge. So that wouldn't be like a franchise that's not big where I'm at. Like wherever you live at, that franchise is going to be huge. But not even just like, oh, that it's always those other franchises that's huge too, right? So like Dallas, the Packers, the Steelers, the Bucks. What's another team from back in the day? The Colts is a big team. Like It's just Miami's color scheme that made them a big team because people rock that Miami color scheme. Like, I just think almost every team in the NFL at this point done become basically iconic. But where was I going? I done lost my train of thought from rambling. Just ridiculous rambling. I done forgot the plot of what I was talking about. But I know I've been talking about the Sheduer Sanders situation regardless. Oh, no, I'm talking about the Saints. I think they need to just reset everything, yo. Because the way the Saints have run this franchise and the way they done made moves and whatnot, just I don't understand it. And passing on Sheduer the way they passed on Sheduer, unbelievable. You got Derek Carr, bro. You willing? And it was so funny to me when the Giants traded back up and people kept saying, "Oh, that's Sheduer, that's Sheduer." I tweeted, I was like, "Yo, this the Giants. That's a Jackson Dart trade, bro. They traded up to draft Jackson Dart." I said, them niggas is not drafting Sheduer, bro. They don't draft black quarterbacks, bro. You're not going to fool me. You're not going to fool me, brother. That is not Sheduer. That is Jackson Dart. And as God is my witness, as soon as that tweet, not even 5 minutes after the tweet was sent, they drafted Jackson Dart, bro. I was never for 1 second fooled by that trade up, yo. But that to me is more evidence. What black quarterbacks do in college does not fucking matter. And people can make, the racist white dudes can make all these stupid ass excuses and whatnot, and you could just flip it on them. That's why it's no fun engaging with them niggas. Because literally every single thing they try to use to discredit Sheduer, you can flip it on them. So it's not even fun. And mind you, to the white dudes who did that little quotations prank by calling Sheduer when he was sliding in the draft, that just show you how mean-hearted white people are. Some white people. I mean, that didn't shock me at all. It didn't move me at all. Like, an evil-hearted white man. Shocker. But the Saints, the Steelers, the Browns. I saw this thing where it was like fans are going to buy from Sheduer's website, not for them Browns. I'm glad I saw that because I already had thought that to myself anyways. I would never, for one, buy no Cleveland gear as a Raven fan. Yeah, that's just never going to happen. And I really don't want to even root for the Cleveland Browns. Not because I'm a Lamar guy and I'm Raven. I don't even care about that. I don't really want to root for him because I still don't feel like none of these fucking... The way that these 30 teams just did this, man, was so disgusting because they wanted to humble him. But humble him from what? Nobody wanted to humble Brett Favre. Nobody wanted to humble Josh Rosen. Nobody wanted to humble Baker Mayfield. Nobody wanted to humble none of the white dudes that came into the drafts with confidence. Nobody wanted to humble none of them. The confident black man. That's the one that needed to be humbled. Unreal. Unreal. I don't want to root for no team that obviously it's teams that wasn't gonna draft. I'm not talking about those teams. I'm talking about every team that needed a quarterback and chose to pass on this man. I don't want to root for none of them. I don't give a fuck that he played for Cleveland. I don't want to root for Cleveland. And if I was to buy some Sheduer merch, it would. If I already knew in my head it was gonna be off of his own merch site, I would never put money in the pot, because that's one thing that already had annoyed me when he was sliding anyways. Because I already knew as he was sliding in the draft, I had already said to myself, whoever draft this nigga is already going to have the number one selling jersey in the NFL. Because everybody going to probably buy that nigga's jersey immediately. And no shock. He already, I think it said, got one of the highest selling jerseys in the NFL. He already got the highest selling Cleveland Brown jersey. I knew that was going to happen. He immediately put money in these niggas' pockets. But I want to humble him. Yeah, I just don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's funny how racist white people are so fond and think it's so fair to try to go outside of football to try to discredit this kid. Even though, once again, he's got no off the field problems. He's gotten no legal troubles. You don't know this nigga, so you just projecting and guessing. And mind you, I don't know why it is that some people, because I know why racists do it, but the people who are just ignorant without the racism tied into them, why is it that your immediate thought of this, a man you don't know, is, oh yeah, he got to be arrogant and insufferable and yada 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 because he celebrate on touchdowns and first downs like every other nigga who plays sports? If you tune into football, every Sunday it's a nigga celebrating the first down. I done seen teams down 20 plus points and niggas still celebrating first downs. So I know what this is, but I know what this is when it comes to the racists. For the people who are not racist, who hate athletes like this, I really don't understand, and I will never understand the logic that you use to explain why you hate these people. But you know, it's above me. It's not even for me to understand anymore. With that being said, I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them and tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in this world, so choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. I fuck with you. I love you. Saint out.
Cashing in, say, the way Liv did, well, that's like winning the lottery, isn't it? And I don't need to win the lottery because I work my ass off every week for a paycheck.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.